That other door is open. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salahuddin on behalf of Senior Committee of ICCL. Welcome all of you. And so this is the brother Yasir, and he's going to talk about inheritance and last wills. And I'll let him introduce himself so that I don't want to make mistakes. And we start the process, inshallah.
Brother, there's no introduction. It's just one, duty and one responsibility that we learn and want to keep on telling and protecting our community members. So just a basic introduction. This is information basis only. We do not want to bring in any personal matters. Yes.
Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Will we share?
Yes. Yeah. So this is for the information basis only, and we do not want to bring in any personal family matters into the community basis. If there's any concern or question, one-on-one, or we can, so we do not be at the fault. My small introduction. I was 22 years old when my father passed away in 2005. After certain businesses, fraud and some situation. So I started researching what can I do and what is a shortfall. And then a few years later, one of his friends died, and his oldest son was only 14 years old. So the devastation I see and the pain and agony I see here and the back home, it forced me to go into the field that very few people are going, financial field, and start learning about how to protect, do the family protection. So a few years later, we have a lot of Muslim clients, and they say we want to do the inheritance according to the Islamic law. We have assets we acquire, halal asset. We have our home businesses and everything. We want to distribute according to Shariah, according to Quran. So we start doing a research. I hired 2 attorneys. I'm a financial planner. We hired some scholars. We did our search for 2 years. How can we, interact with Islamic law as well as American law without contradicting anybody and without any conflicts? So the first client we took, it was on 2013 after 2 years of research. So alhamdulillah, since 2013, we've been providing Islamic Estate Planning. We started locally in Maryland and Virginia. Now we offer services nationwide. Quite a few services nationwide, some trust in some states that we don't do. So this is our hardcore focus, and we're gonna drive into why we need to have Islamic Estate Planning or estate planning, what is the benefit of having it, and how can we protect our assets. So the reason we start doing it, these are the 2 hadiths. When we started our research in the beginning, one, it says, Prophet Muhammad says that learn inheritance and teach it to others because it is a half of the knowledge. And the first knowledge will be taken away from the Ummah. So we spent more than almost about 14 years on this subject, how to work and how to help and how to protect our assets. The topic for today is going to be Assalamu alaikum. Will your family be protected in case anything happens? I live through a pain. I see so many cases, so many issues, so many families are devastating when the main family person dies. It's hard enough, dies with all the protection, but if there's no asset protection, there's no will in place, there's no trust, then it is a devastation for family. So we started, we have a reality check for the estate planning. We will share the QR code again, but this is basically, you take about 15-20 questions to figure out where are you standing and what is your drawbacks in your families and what is your faults in your estate planning. We received an email last month before we seminar. These are the cases happen quite often. 35-year-old brother who was married to a non-Muslim have a 2-year-old son, and he have 2 businesses and a house. And there was in a divorce proceeding. He passed away at 35 age. So his mother and father and a sister, they were going through they knew that they was taking care of a son, and the son was going through the divorce proceeding. But as soon he passed away, his wife said that no, we not had any divorce proceeding. I own everything now. So these are two lessons we learned. Number one, the death can come anytime, right? So it doesn't mean that we have to be 100 years old before passing away. Number two, we have to protect our assets, whatever you have, whenever you have, we have to protect it as soon as possible. And the whole thing would have been solved if there was a will or trust or, the proper documentations in place. Small concern, another big issue we see that, can I give anything to everybody? Can I take off my daughter? So this is a case we recently refused. These are a family member with 4 daughters, from oldest to about 20 and the youngest to about 15 years old. And when we receive all the documentations to do the estate planning, the only beneficiary he chose 2 brothers. Is this Islamic? No. So this is when we have a deep discussion. He said, they are rebellion to me. They don't listen to me. I'm in a separation with my wife, and I do not want to give anything to my daughters. So, yes.
I have a question. So, while the person is living,
yes,
they can have any will.
Yeah, they can.
Even because he said Islamic, I just realized.
Yes,
that,
yes, yes.
Right? So, how is it un-Islamic?
So this is planning after death.
No. Okay.
Yeah, when the rule.
The person is alive when he's asking you.
Yes, he's asking when he's live, but the ruling on gift is, if I'm giving you a gift or if anybody's giving it has to be transferred to that person.
While he's alive.
While he's alive.
Exactly.
Complete ownership of that person.
I get it.
But we cannot say that upon my death, it should be not, disinherit anybody.
I get it.
So after discussion, we turned them down that I'm sorry, our company is Islamic Estate Planning and we cannot justify this. One of our client, Amar Bhai, was such a wonderful person in Bel Air side. Last year, he went right after Eid, Ramadan, second day after Eid Fitr. He goes to his work. He passed away with a heart attack at age 48. Luckily, we had the documentation. They lost their document, and luckily, we had the backup copy, and the whole family avoid the probate process. Such a wonderful person, and all of a sudden, it was a shock that he's gone. So, a few topics we're going to talk about. What is probate? What is estate planning? Who needs a estate plan? And what makes it Islamic? And some components, and we're going to have more answer questions. I like more question. You can stop me anytime. More discussion basis than just giving slides. Brother, you can have a seat.
No.
Yeah, we have a young person who can. Saf, it's your duty, buddy. I have them, for sign off. That's Saf. So the probate is what is probate? Probate is a court supervised process of transferring your asset to your loved ones upon the death. So the process can take between minimum about 4 months all the way to, we have some cases that gone up to 20 plus years based on the complexity. The famous case of Michael, the singer Michael Jackson, it's still continuing, and they lost millions and millions of dollars in probate because of there's no proper documentations. So it's not just them. Islamically, we see so many cases having so many issues. And beside the pain, yes.
Can you go back? What is the Medicaid issue? Medicaid claims, what is it?
Expensive consuming Medicaid claims. Okay. So when you don't have a will, or when you have a will does not avoid probate. The court can post a will or your state that so and so ABC is passed away. If there's any claim against his assets or him, bring it. They wait 3 months. They give 3 months to the creditor, including Medicaid and all the claims against him, that can post a claim on his state. So Medicaid can do the recovery. They are really bad in Virginia. They can literally come after regardless whatever. As soon the house transfer from the spouse to spouse, they're okay, but when it's transferred to the children, they put a claim on it and they have to be paid before anybody else can receive any inheritance. Good catch. So the process is they have to, if there's no documentations involved, then the court has to collect all the information about a deceased person. They have to analyze all the assets, what they have, who's owner, all the creditors before. They have to satisfy all the claims before it can goes to the family. The cost alone is between 6 to 10% of your total assets. So just the executor alone, if you do not have an executor who deals with the court and assess your assets and assess your planning, they charge about 10% of your total asset just to analyze and distribute your assets. Main reason we're going to delay, want to avoid probate, number one, it creates a lot of headache for the family. Just imagine if you are in a courthouse for something or in a government facility, when you come out, how happy you are. And you take yourself out, have your wife or your children going and dealing with that. So if you cannot handle that scenario, we want to avoid them. They're already going through such a pain and agony and all the issues. Number two, it delays. So there's, if a husband have a bank account, all the money is in there. We've seen a lot of cases in our regular Pakistan Indian community. And if he passed away, wife need to access that money for anything. She have to wait the probate process before the money can be given. Or she have to have at least the death certificate, executor estate letter from the courthouse before she can access that money legally. Not the beneficiary. Beneficiary still takes a while. The fees, it's lengthy. Publicity, so it is everything. If there's no will or will, everything is a public knowledge. There's no, it doesn't have any protection on it. What is included in there? So estate is all your assets, your jewelry, your businesses, your digital assets. And
I have a question.
Yes.
And usually, how long it takes for an average time for the probate?
Probate minimum takes about 4 or 5 months, and can average takes about 9 to 12 months. So that is the process. But the minimum probate takes about, they have to have time for the creditors to claim. That is 3 months after you start the probate process. What is estate planning? Estate planning is basically organizing it, simplifying it, and protecting your family with all the documentations that need to be taken care of. So the main benefit of estate planning is, number one, we have asset distribution. We want to distribute our asset according to Islamic laws while not conflicting or having any issues with the courthouse. Second, we want to minimize taxes as legally as possible to minimize every single tax. The guardianship decision, if you have a minor children, this is the most important topic to me because if we fail to protect our children and they are raised up in a foster system, there's no guarantee that they'll be placed in an Islamic environment or with the Muslim families. Privacy. If we create a trust is a private document. Nobody knows what's in there. Even the judge doesn't know or anybody, because the trust, the will just tells everything that I own. My trust is my beneficiary. And it is very private, very, family owns it, family controls it. Reducing conflict and also health and financial decision. It makes it easier if somebody's in an incapacitated stage. They cannot handle their financials. Somebody else can step in and they can organize and they can take care of them.
Question.
Yes.
Guardianship is mainly for if both parents pass away, right?
No, also there's a process. So if there's only a mother alive, she also need to have a proper guardianship alive. So she need to, there's a certain documentation that she have to have a full guardianship in place. So for example, we had a case in New York. The son was 13 years old when father died, and the father had a life insurance It took 9 months for mother to have a guardianship letter from the courthouse to be able to receive their money. Yes, sister.
Can you explain the trust?
Yeah, we will train.
Yes, great.
Yeah, we will trace. More. We will go through it. Estate planning is main purpose and main decision. The only reason we do if we love our family and our spouse. The most important thing is we're protecting our spouse and children and our assets. Disability planning and all the other benefit are is going to come through it. Few mistakes to avoid when we're doing estate planning: not having any plan. We talk about the internet plans. So if we do not have a guidance, if we do not have a proper structure in place, then we've been working since 2013. Very few times we've seen that everything is properly execution. Then we have inaccurate beneficiary. If somebody's already divorced or passed away, we already see so many cases that they are still in a beneficiary on their 401k, retirement, or banking, that even though they are already divorced or already passed away. Also creditors, IRS, and all those scenarios. I'm going to drive deep into the trust and estate planning. I'm just going to go through a little faster. All right, what is Islamic estate planning? So the concept of Islamic estate planning, even we're living in the United States, the whole estate planning started about 150 years old. Before 100 plus year, the woman was not allowed to have any inheritance, even in the United States. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a plan 1400 years ago that everybody have to the fraction of 0.999% was distributed according to Quran. So the concept of Islamic state planning is that we have to follow the ruling of Quran, the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way we was told to distribute everything. There's no if, when, but, everything has to be precise. The distribution or calculation of the inheritance is given in 2 ayahs, Surah Nisa, ayah 11 and 12. So based on that, whatever fall through it, we have to calculate accordingly. So main thing, why it matter, Sharia compliance. Number one, we avoid probate if we do a proper structure of trust planning. Family dispute, there's no, for example, if we have, Allah says in Surah Nisa, ayah 11 at the end, that if I have a 5-year-old son and my father is 80 years old, and personally as a human nature, I will say, my father already lived his life. Why don't I give everything to my son? But Allah says in the Quran that you do not know who is more beneficial to you. So the distribution has to be according to Quran if we want to follow the complete Sharia. Zakat, charity, Sadaqah Jariyah is one of the key elements of our Islam. So I was talking to Brother Abdul Maneem that we should plan for the masjid, have a planned giving. We should put masjid in our estate planning, have a percentage going on. So upon our death, 5%, 10%, or whatever Sadaqah Jariyah, we can do up till 33%. That should go to the Islamic charity that continues having a reward even long after you're gone. So, state planning. State planning will is given everywhere, but the concept of guardianship and estate planning comes in Surah Nisa 5 and 6. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not entrust the incapable among your dependents with your wealth, which Allah has made a mean of support for you, but feed them, clothe them, and speak to them kindly. So that falls into 3 different scenarios. Number 1, the minor children. Number 2, if we have any special need children or adults. And number 3, we also have seen people got addicted and they are not in a mental stage of having taken care of themselves. So we have to utilize this ayah to protect them and have a guardianship in place for them. And next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, and test the orphans in their ability until they reach a marriageable age. Then if you perceive them, sound judgment, release their property to them, and do not consume it exclusively and quickly. anticipating that they will grow up, and whoever, when acting as a guardian, is a self-sufficient, should refrain from taking a fee, but whoever is a poor, let them take according to what acceptable. Then when you release the property, bring a witness upon them, and sufficient is Allah as accountant. Just imagine, I was talking to somebody that if we buy a car, we have a manual of a car by the company. We cannot use, Lexus and have a Mercedes manual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created human being, and we have the manual of human being to follow in Quran that we have to follow. So this is why we need, a will or estate planning. In Surah Baqarah, Allah says, it is prescribed when a death approaches any of you, if they leave something of value, a will should be made in a favor of parents and immediate family with fairness, and this is obligation on those who are mindful of Allah. How many already have the will? If they receive, inheritance of $1 million or whatever asset they receive, and they passed away, they are already receiving the state benefit. State can take all the leaving whatever assets in the trust. So we need to periodically fund their special need trust instead of giving all at once. So there's a special, different, everybody have a different scenarios.
Sure.
So we need to figure out exactly what we have, what we need. Then we create a plan for family how to, help.
So you need to have both. You need both. That's
Trust comes with a will. If there's only basic stuff, basic family, husband, wife owns a house, basic children, but just there's no complexity. Or if they don't have a house, they are starting a family, they only have a children, and we want to set up a guardianship, then we go with a will plan and medical directive and power of attorney. But if we have a large assets, we want to simplify for the family and longevity, then we go with a trust.
I'm sorry if I'm repeating, but if you do the will according to what you would recommend, then you would avoid the probate?
Will does not avoid probate. No. It expedited.
Based on how you do the will?
Yes. It expedited. It tells the court that who's my executor, they do not need to choose anybody. Who's my beneficiary, they do not need to discuss and fight.
So all the penalties that usually happen in probate would go away if you do a will properly?
It will reduce all the excess cost of timing. It will reduce the timing of processing. It still will take about 3-4 months to have a proper probate completed minimum, because they still have to have a bylaw the 3 months for the creditor to put a claim against your assets.
Okay, that's fine. 3 months.
Yeah. So yes. So unless the family needs the money for right away to take care of themselves, and they cannot handle next 3 months. So based on those scenarios, there's some ways to go around it as well to avoid probate completely. Mm-hmm. So we can also, based on individual situation, how to help them. So these are pros and cons. Cons is we need to retitle everything, it costs more upfront, and we need to maintain the record of trust. The pros are avoid probate process, saves long-term money, offer more protections. Asset can be protected from legal battles and creditors, and the settlor can maintain more control over the assets.
So the retitling is the main thing, right? So everything, if you decide to go with the trust, then everything that you have, whether the house you're living in or properties you have, then you would have to retitle them.
Absolutely. Depending on the scenario. So if you have, for example, a rental income, rental properties, you have personal residence. You could be a medical doctor. That could be, high lawsuit scenario. So we just had a client that he have a business and a rental property, and there was a lawsuit against him. His son was driving his car, got into accident. There was a $500,000 lawsuit against him. So we transfer his personal, the rental properties and his business to the trust. So by the time everything is going on, everything is out of his name.
Is it because of the trust, or is it because then you put it under an LLC or something else?
No, LLC also, good point, good question. LLC have a limited liability protection. Okay. But let's say if you have multiple properties under your name and you also have your primary residence, then we might need to put the properties in LLC and then have the LLC under the trust. So you avoid the probate, number one. Number two, you have the full protection. And LLC can be transferred two ways. Number one, it can be amended and have a fully under the trust, or have a assignment of interest, a contract that I, Yasir Zia, assign my Freedom Path Financial interest in Freedom Path Financial to my living revocable trust. So if anything happened to me, everything goes to the trust. But while I'm alive, I have a full control of that LLC. So there's a base. That's why we see that when we sit on one-on-one, we can figure out a lot of complexity in this things. So the whole concept, when we do the planning, our goal is to have a full, bulletproof protection for family. We'll look at all their retirement. We'll look at everything they have, figure out if they need any help or anywhere, but if they have any vulnerability, how to protect those. This is our Zoom meeting consultation, that if we want to book anything, we can also schedule a Zoom. And I will have a questionnaire. If somebody want to fill the questionnaire, that we can one-on-one consultation, we can do that as well. Questions?
So those who didn't sign up, so we can distribute what are the recordings. We can send it to the people if you sign up with the email and the phone numbers. So if you didn't sign up, just connect with you.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, I have a photocopy.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. If anybody has not signed up, please sign up.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Okay. And do you have the green flyer?
We have some in front as well.
In front?
Yeah.
Okay, now if there
So,
is some, we can distribute it.
Yes.
So someone was asking for your contact address. It is already there.
These are some of my cards. This is thank you. Thank you. Hopefully I answer your questions. Was helpful? Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions?
It's a little bit. How long you offer your Zoom meeting? 45 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes?
As long as you need it. We usually have a setup 30-minute slots, but we have, based on the questionnaire, how many meetings we have to have.
So maybe give an example, few small examples for like people who don't need.
Who don't need?
Yeah.
Number one, if you do
For
not.
example, in a situation where like a husband and wife have a common account.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So the most number one example, if you do not need anything, you don't care about anybody.
No.
No, I'm gonna share that one too.
You don't care
So
about it.
yeah, that's one thing. Second, if you, let's say, if it's a young person doesn't have any children, then he doesn't need will. He might need a power of attorney or advanced medical directive.
Okay.
If it's a husband and wife, they do not have a children. They have basic all the house under both of their name, all their bank account under both of their name, all the beneficiary like properly set up. Then they do not need will because everything gonna transfer. Any beneficiary designation and co-ownership will avoid probate as well. So the important thing is, if a husband have a bank account, the wife need to be on it as a co-signer.
Or a joint account.
A joint account. So we had brother died in Baltimore, and his son was in his account. I told him, do not go and tell the bank account that your father passed away until you properly secure everything and transfer the money out. So he goes, he takes his mother, Wells Fargo, and they say, I want to add my mom to the bank account of mine and my father. He said, where's your father? Oh, we just buried him. So they seal the account. They say, until you have the state letter, go through the court process, receive a letter from their state, executor letter before you can access this account. So yeah, so that's why when we, in coordination, when we have the documentations, we have to, if something happens, we are there with the family right to guide them. Yes, sister.
If you have a joint account, the surviving spouse can't access it.
They can. They can access it, but you cannot add a third person into it right away. You can just go and have access, and without even telling. A bank doesn't need to know somebody passed away. You need to manage. You can take care of those. Transfer to your personal account. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
meaning like in a joint account, in order to do any activity on
Yes.
the account,
Yes.
both the parties have to be there.
Both of the party, but if you open up your own account
I
and
understand, and then transfer the money.
transfer into that, so it simplifies. So yes, sister.
Bank account, husband and wife, and property, name. Is that Islamically acceptable? Like if somebody pass away and automatically goes over to the wife or goes over to the...
There's a two scenario. Number one, if you have a minor children's only, right, and the husband or wife are the guardian of those children. So we have fatwa from Sheikh Abdurrahman Khan, ICNA scholar, that we ask them that if the children are the minors and husband and wife, can wife receive the 100% of the share to take care of them? He says yes, it is permissible for wife or husband to receive everything to take care of the children. Second, it's Islamically, if the person, let's say, it doesn't have any relative here, and the only person is the husband or wife, and they have a relative overseas, so they receive and then they distribute to them.
But what if the home is the place of residence?
Yes. So if you
You cannot
own,
sell off the house and
You
to
can.
distribute.
yes. So if you are a husband and wife owners of the house, they both own a 50% each. So if husband pass away, wife have a 50% and she receive Islamically another 12.5% from the benefit. Rest goes to the other family members. So if she receives 100% to herself, then either she's an executor or trustee of the, executor in the will. She have to distribute according to the Islamic laws.
But this is not Islamic. I
Islamically,
mean, the one that you're saying, the husband and the wife has to have 50%. What if they don't?
no, if they don't, then it's don't. But when you signed off and you own ownership of the house, remember when we talk about
But that is like in this state.
yes,
But that's not Islamic.
Islamic.
If the husband and wife go together, are on the title together, but the husband or the wife, either way, provides the money, then it does not automatically.
Remember the ruling of a hiba, the gift. When
Yeah,
we,
I mean, because after that, there's no gift.
yeah, no, after that, but in your life, because when you are, I willingly putting my wife on my property as a 50% ownership, right? So that is meaning that I'm giving her the 50% rights to the property. She need to be titled under her name while I'm live, right?
Yes. I heard something like that before. Long time ago. Yes. Okay.
It's a simplified, yeah.
That's one way to get out from the practice.
Yeah, your scenario is
Some people say that you are playing around
yeah.
Islamic obligation. You're playing around, but I'm not sure.
So we had a deep discussion on Sheikh Muhammad Arafa. If everybody know, Muhammad Arafa has been the Imam. He was the original founder of MLC, Makkah Learning Center, and he's been teaching Islam for the last 30-40 years. Unfortunately, they do not have any children of their own. We did their estate planning. So he's like, we went through this scenario. He said, my wife, I already gifted her 50% of all my assets in my life. And I own only 50%, and my 50% need to be divided between my wife and my siblings.
And relatives.
And relatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whatever is left, so if I have a co-ownership of the house with my wife, I have 2 sons and a daughter, and my mother. So my mother is my beneficiary of those rest of the from my 50% shares. My mother-in-law is beneficiary from my wife's 50% share. They cannot cross, even though I bought a property, I paid for it, but I choose to put my wife's name on the title. I could have said that property belongs to me, If I want to keep complete Islamically, I do not involve her completely and have a sole ownership, then my wife only inherits as a Islamic 1/8. But if I give a gift, if I transfer the ownership to her name while I'm live, then is a different ruling on that.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of difference here.
Yeah.
What you're saying is that, and I didn't think about it, but it's a good point. Some scholar man, I guess, can elaborate on that. You're saying when somebody in some states, both the husband and wife have to be on the deed, right?
No, it's not required to be on it.
Okay,
You
but
choose.
it's recommended.
It's recommended, or you choose to have it. We have, Florida. We have cases from Texas. A lot of other states.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So you're saying, but you're inferring that if somebody did that,
Yes.
intentionally or unknowingly,
Yeah.
you're saying that step of having the both husband and wife on the title, it means that they both agreed and gifted 50%. This is your implication.
Yes.
This is This is an interpretation, right? Is this something that you got from a scholar, or this is yours?
This is not mine. We talk, yeah, Sheikh Abdurrahman, a lot of other scholars as well. But the thing is, also, are you forced to do it? Are you just basically, we also had a person who wanted to take it away from her wife.
So, can you elaborate a bit what you're saying in terms of the taxes? I know you didn't touch that base on that.
Okay.
Taxes. He's gonna taxes.
Taxes.
Yes.
Thank you for changing the topic. Just curious. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, the company you run, you have a partnership, you have others with you, or
We have multiple teams, multiple attorneys. We have a financial to everything that we need to take care of it.
so if you're unavailable, somebody else can.
Absolutely. So as for the taxes, when we inherit it, there's the biggest thing. If you put your children on the ownership of the property while you are alive, this is the biggest case we see. So if parents put their son, let's say 50% ownership, or they put like a husband and wife, and then they have a son as a ownership, then not the Islamic point of view, now we're going to talk about taxations, right? So they bought a house for $200,000. The house went up to $500,000. If anything happened to father, right, son is getting a share, and the wife, the house is being divided into two people left. They're going to have a 50-50 shares. So the wife is going to her inheritance is unlimited. There's no taxation on that. But the son will have to pay the tax on the gain of the property. So they bought a house for $200,000. The value is $500,000. He receives a 50%, which is $250,000. He has to pay taxes as a capital gain on that.
If he's on the title.
If he's on the title. But if
He's not on the title.
If the house goes to the trust,
That's why you can do social.
yeah, if the house goes to the trust on the property, husband and wife both are the grantors. Simplified all those, the previous issue we talk about, right? And then when, let's say, son receives a property after father or after mother, or whenever you can have a justification, then he receives at the step-up basis. So the current value,
Yep, I got it. So he avoids all that tax.
he avoids all the taxes. I'm sorry?
You were going to say something? Sorry.
Not interrupt.
Okay. So when son receive an inheritance, they do not pay any capital gain or gift taxes. So it's better to transfer the asset through the trust to the family. And also when we have the trust on there, that reduce a lot more other complications. Simplifies.
Just to be clear on this, it's not just because of the trust, it could also be in the will.
The will does not void probate. Will does not own the title of your property. Right? So
But
You have to have focus. Pretty down.
Yeah, there is a cake over there.
You have to say that at the beginning of this.
huh?
You have to say that that's one of the key points here. I guess.
For the taxations?
yeah,
Yeah. Depending on
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Before, yeah.
I cannot jump over somebody's questions.
no, but if the will says that, on my death, distribute this and then whatever the property is, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying that in this case, the scenario that you're talking about is that you gave the
So-
one property. So let's say you have so many properties, you gave one
Yes.
property to the son, right?
So yes.
Yes.
So
Right?
Okay.
So the scenario you gave is that after his death, if it gets transferred through trust, then he would avoid all the
Capital
the trust,
gain.
right? Also all the taxation on the
Capital
property,
gain.
Capital gain. But if you have the same thing in the will, right? Says on my death, this son will have this property. What happens then?
Okay, when you are will, you only 33% shares are distributing from the will. See, the house, the same scenario, 3 people own the title. There's no ownership rights when you are titling that 3 equal people, husband, wife, and their son, right? So each person have the old scenario we talk about. 3 people, husband, wife, and the son owns a house, right?
Yeah.
Right. So husband passed away.
Yeah.
He puts in a will that my shares are distributed to both of them. Right? So his shares, 33% gonna be contributing to son and his wife. Number one, they have to retitle everything. That has to be retitled and
There's some cake there. Please help yourself.
Dessert.
And dessert, help yourself. And Jazakallah khair by the coming here. Very good
Good
information.
information. Very much appreciated. So we are giving you